This is a national emergency.
J. Robert Oppenheimer, husband, dad, and father of the atomic bomb.
We're in a race against the Nazis.
They have a 12-month head start.
18.
How could you possibly know that?
It's the Second World War, and the Germans are developing nuclear technology. America's answer, the Manhattan Project.
Why would we go to the middle of nowhere for who knows how long?
How about because this is the most important thing to ever happen in the history of the world?
Employing almost 130,000 people at a cost of more than US $24 billion in today's dollars, the stakes could not have been higher.
Are we saying there's a chance that when we push that button, we destroy the world?
Chances are near zero.
Near zero.
What do you want from theory alone?
Zero would be nice.
Now that drama has been turned into a Hollywood blockbuster by one of the world's top directors and featuring some of the best actors in the business. We sent Newshub's New York correspondent Mitch McCann to find out all about it.
What was it like working together again? I know you're good friends, you live near each other.
We see too much of each other.
Yeah.
Sick of each other.
I'm sick of you. I don't want to see you any more than I already do.
It was nice to leave John and Lucy at home with the kids. And we went off to physics summer camp.
And we were
Chris
sort of
Nolan,
in the middle of the New Mexican desert, all staying in this one hotel together. We had some fun nights.
There was one little restaurant. We'd all eat there every night. And,
I mean, we ate. Killian never
Killian,
ate.
yeah,
Killian
Killian.
was eating celery in his room by himself, but
yeah.
that's because he's a professional.
One question I had when I came out of the movie was how much work did you have to do to learn the scientific terms, the physics, the fusion energy, all that sort of thing? Because there was so much of it.
This is the second time I've played a physicist. For whatever reason, I must have resting physicist face. But, you get a kind of a vague conceptual understanding of it, but, like, realistically, there's a tiny percentage of the population that can actually understand quantum mechanics, and you have to devote your whole life to it. So my job was really to go after the humanity in the story.
I know that you've said that Oppenheimer was the most important man who lived, and before I watched the movie I thought, how can that be? I haven't really heard much about him, and then I watched the movie and I completely agree with you. Do you think the audience will have the same takeaway?
I think if I've done my job right, the drama of his story I think is very, very compelling and involving. It's a very exciting story.
He brought this new technology into the world that has the potential to end the species entirely, so I can't think of anybody who would have a greater impact on the species than that. I'm Chris's age, and we grew up as children of the Cold War, learning about Oppenheimer, learning about Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and nuclear annihilation was kind of on our brain as we were adolescents, and so it's odd the way that we can kind of block that out somehow, you know what I mean? It's like the Cold War ends and your brain goes, okay, put it away.
The thing about Oppenheimer was, despite all his genius, he was a little naive, The fact that he thought that this weapon would end all wars, the fact that he thought that, there would be a world governance that would control, nuclear proliferation, that was kind of naive. So I think if he saw the world today, I think he would be pretty depressed.
I think you used Albert Einstein's office as part of filming for this. It's incredible, really authentic, isn't it? Why was that important?
We went to the Institute for Advanced Study where Oppenheimer was the director. His office is still there, and we looked at his office. And symmetrically, Einstein's office is on the other side of the building. So yeah, to be there in Einstein's actual office was very, very exciting.
What was the reasoning for choosing this movie? And I asked that because I know you're both very established in your careers. You can probably pick and choose what movies you want to do.
Can you imagine saying no to Chris Nolan? Can you imagine how insane
If he called and wanted to do the phone book, I think any actor would
everyone
take the job,
would say yes.
It's very, very easy yes.
That's great. I'm a big Manhattan Project guy. Before this came out, I listened to a 6-part podcast about the Manhattan Project. Watched the movie last night, went to the premiere, la-di-da, and it's awesome. I loved it 100%. So much going on, like big screen movie. The one bit I could have done without was sort of the end where they kind of implied that maybe the world is going to be nuked into catastrophe. Could have done without that part. I sort of made it hard to sleep. But other than that, it was...
Spoiler alert,
yeah.
Tony!
I know, that was a bit of a... It's not really a sort
I'm
of the whole point.
fascinated by that whole thing, though. Building something that you can't use.
Mm-hmm.
You build weapons and you have ranges. It's not like you can go to a nuclear range and let them off, can you?
Yeah. Well, they did, and they do. You do get to see one go off in the movie, and it's amazing. But I will say this, in the movie, there's probably maybe more nudity than there is bombs going off, which I found surprising.
Huh. Well, male and female, or...?
You get to see a bit of both.
Oh, okay.
You get to see a bit of both. So something in it for everyone.
So you went to a movie about one of the most significant things in the history of the world, and your enduring memory is nudity.
Yeah, it was on the IMAX. It was a lot.
It's not his fault he saw hee-hees and ha-has. It's just part of it.
Oh, yes.
Oppenheimer opens in cinemas nationwide tomorrow.